Just doing a gum chewing ramble here today. Don't know how long it will go. Just gonna be talking about a lot of the usual stuff. It's funny, I was looking through stuff in the bins that I brought, from home, and I found this Yankee Stadium 3D laser card that came from Blockbuster. This was back in '94. I kind of vaguely remember getting this. Kind of cool. Yeah. Just been looking at some coins, pricing out some coins. I need to list a few more of those. One thing I want to talk about here in the opening minutes. As you guys know, if you followed me long enough, I've talked about possibly starting another channel, kind of focusing certain things on that channel, and putting them on that one. I went away from that. I can do everything I can do on this channel. It doesn't matter. But I might start. I think I'm going to do it regardless. But as you guys know, I've talked about, I do have another channel on here that started in '09. Went for a little while. I mean, the last video I put up on there was like 2018. I think I was mirroring videos. Like, I'd do a gum chewing collection on here, and then I would do it, or garage sale pickups, and then I would do it without the gum on that channel. But if anyone's interested, let me know in the comments, please. Let me know this so I get an idea. I might throw videos up on that channel again, and like I said, I might do it anyway. I already have it. It's there. I know some of you have subbed to it. I might just throw up like collections of stuff, because I did a lot of gaming stuff on there. I did some walks, goofy things. If you go and, like I said in the past, if you go and look at the videos on there, they're goofy as hell. I had a lot of fun. And like at the time, I don't know how many I have now, but at the time I had like 300 something subs. Very low. But why is that? I don't know why that's auto-focusing when it is not on autofocus. But I might throw up some collections in it, and if a garage sale pickup, again, maybe like a ripping packs on there without the gum. Not even like, all right, this is like my soft-spoken right here, but like my normal voice, like, not normal, but my regular sounding voice, which is more like this, a little louder than soft-spoken. If you wanna see that kind of stuff, let me know. I know a lot of you, the gum chewing whispering, you like soft-spoken, whatever. But if you want to just see me doing that on there, the game stuff, maybe some, and I obviously still do them on here too, but, maybe I throw up my Genesis collection on there, PlayStation, just do it on there as well. But just do it as, random like this, just like, hey, here's this video and that video. Turn the gain down on this considerably because it will get loud. That kind of thing, maybe ripping some packs on there. Hey, maybe even do some of the goofier videos I used to do on that channel with the video game stuff. If you go on that channel, you see the GameCube related. I think I put one or two on this one because I had re-upload them because I still have those videos on an old hard drive. If you want to see that, let me know. Like, if you'd just be interested in it, I'll probably go and do it anyway. I wonder if any of the people that used to sub to me on there would even still give a shit if I put a video up. It'd be kind of cool because there was a lot of good people I would comment back and forth with. I think I'm going to do that anyway. Just to see, no need to start something new when I have another channel sitting there. So yeah, if you want to sub to that, go ahead. Buried Under Cliches is what it is. I'm going to link it in the description if you're interested. Please let me know if you're interested in just seeing me talk video games in a collection without the gum. Because then it gives me a chance to put that stuff up on another. Because I know some people, it's like, if it's not going to view on this channel, I might as well throw it on that one. Because it's a low sub count, it's somewhere to throw stuff. So let me know. And like I said, I might still do those that might get me motivated to do some of those goofier videos again. Because they have no place. They don't have much of a place with ASMR. And I'd be speaking more loudly. But anyway, please let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. It's funny, I was looking through the bins, and I hand write down my eBay sales. And I've got a lot of years here. I brought some of these out get an idea of how insane some of the prices have changed. I don't know what year this is from, but I sold Fatal Frame and Silent Hill 2 on the Xbox. This probably isn't later than maybe 2014, 2015. Both of those games, $24.49. The regular Fatal Frame's probably a $75 game. Silent Hill 2 that's probably like $125. That game's that's probably got $100. It's probably like $100 more at least. And then some things have definitely dropped. Like I got Assassin's Creed Revelations here on the PS3, $20.49. No way that's selling for that price now, unless there was some kind of jump. Pokemon Red on the Game Boy. I'd love to find a year for this, but I always used to have these in my notebook, and then I put the year at the top and then end it. But I didn't, and I just threw them all together, so I didn't have them separated. Pokemon Red on the Game Boy. I don't know. I would have put this in the description if the save didn't work. I bought it for $1. I sold it for $12.99. And Dead Space 2, $360, $579. Oh wait, sorry, I paid that much. It was $17.99. That doesn't have that kind of value either. Mario 64 for $13.49. So this would have been This would have actually probably been pre-2016, 2015, and this might even be 2012, 2013, because I've gotten Mario after that for 64 and sold it for like $25, $30. It's almost gross looking at this. Just it's Silent Hill 3 I sold for $20.99. I don't want to look at this. $20.99. So you're looking at maybe max 12 years ago. That's nuts. I need to try to find like a first year one. This year I know is super old. Come on. Here's something interesting. Garage Sales 2015. Yeah, see, I got 4 Nintendo 64 games for $4, so this was 2015. I made $101 off those. Yeah. I made $2 off a Stratego board game. I need to do that board game ramble. I could talk about Stratego again. NES game system, 4 games and accessories, $20. I made $37.68 off of that. That would be a lot more now, probably. Unbelievable. Nothing else really of note here. Can't even read some of my own handwriting. Oh, here, no, that's flea markets. There should be one with get some shuffling through paper sounds here. I know I have some. Banjo Tooie I got for $2.50 somewhere, $15.49. Unbelievable. Oh wow, this could be 2009 or 2010. Because I remember I was getting copies of Halo 3. I think I talked about this from cat walked in. From what was the place called? for your FYA, for your entertainment. They had a bunch of Game Boy Advance games. I remember this was 2009. I was getting copies of Halo 3 for $10, selling them for $32. That was nice. God, some of these games just did not. Oh my God, I don't even want to see that. Silent Hill Shattered Memories. This would have been the PSP version, and something else. I can't read what it says. Oh no, wait. I don't know. This might just be Shattered Memories. $16.99. That's probably $100 more. Oh, I just want to find a year just to get an idea of some of it. That shows you how quickly video games have gained value, even from 10, 15 years ago. Some of these ones are old. Oh, there's gotta be one. I can't find shit. There should be one that says like 20-something. Passwords. Those are all long been replaced. Well, I guess I don't have. That's disappointing. That's just crazy though. Look at some of this stuff and kind of see. How quickly games. I mean, these are all probably from 2010 or 11 to probably like 17 or 18, maybe a little longer. Gauntlet Dark Legacy on the PS2 sold for $8.99. I don't know what year that is, but that game has a lot more value than that now. Eternal Sonata on the freaking. Oh, that's gotta be 13, not 3. Eternal Sonata on the 360, $13.99. Looking at the shipping prices, you can almost figure out $235. The shipping prices have gone through the roof too. Three broken Genesis controllers, $16.94. I would have obviously said they were broken on the thing. Mario for the NES, Super Mario 3, $15.50. That's a game that's kind of stayed exactly the same. That was from that lot of stuff I got. I said in the garage. This would be 2015 then, I guess. All right, let's see if we can find something to 2015. I did gangbusters at the garage sales. If I could have replaced those 2015, 2009, 2010 garage sales with like 2022, forget about it. You'd have another $500. That's how it goes. This stuff just changes. It moves so quickly. And some of it has dropped. Quarterback Club. And Virtual. Wow. No, it's $10. My handwriting's awful. Pretty crazy. Okay, here we go. Here's a Silent Hill 2. I don't know what year this would have been. I bought it for $9. I sold it for $18.99. I don't know if that's the PS2 or the Xbox. I did not put that. Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64, $13.50. That's probably like $35, $40 now. Just unbelievable. A Game Boy Color I sold for $9.99. That's like $70 probably now. Now, of course, that's over time, right? It's getting, so 10, 12 years maybe. 15 years even possibly. I don't know how long that goes, but it could even go to 09, I don't know. It's not gaining a shit ton over each year, so it's more looking back and saying, oh man, if I just had the Silent Hills and stuff like that, yes. Because if that Silent Hill Shattered Memories was the PSP version, which I would assume it was, I don't think I ever had it on the Wii. I would have had that in about 2015, probably. And that game and this game probably peaked over 100 a couple of years ago, so you're looking at maybe 7-8 years. That game probably gained $100 in value, which is still not even $20 a year, but you know how it goes. It's just crazy looking at that, man. Oh, speaking of which, if you're this far in, 6 minutes, I'm filming this on the 5th. This will go up the 6th of September. It actually is my channel anniversary. YouTube's nice enough to let you know. My first video on this channel went up on September 5th of 2016. Pretty crazy. Had a good year, had a good 23 to 24. That's how I usually look at it. I say from the day I started, so September 5th of 23 to September 5th of 24. You're looking at, I had a nice run. 24 itself has been very good, though. I've had a nice run recently. I hope it continues, you know. It's not the end-all, be-all run, but it's been a solid run for me, and I always appreciate a nice, solid run. I am finally, I gotta print it out. I'm gonna do that later. I'm printing out a bracket, and I'm gonna do a video where I might put the names in a hat, print out the names of each system, or write them on a piece of paper, cut them out, pick them out of a hat, and seat them against each other, and then do the tapping brackets. So hopefully I can do that by next week. I'll print out the thing today, and then go about that. I mean, I could film it maybe over the weekend. I keep forgetting it's Thursday already, so it could be Monday next week. I can't believe this stuff. Okay, so wow, Fire Emblem. I don't know which one that is. Why would it not have put which one that was? This is Zelda Book and Map. Now that Zelda Book and Map is from Link to the Past. Those would have been my original ones from back in the day. They sold for $9.49. Shipping was $1.73. Those were the days. eBay took $1 and a penny. Final Fantasy Book and Map. That's Final Fantasy 3. $14.99. Those alone probably sell for triple that now. So this is probably 09, perhaps. It could be 10. I don't know. Super Smash Brothers plus preview disc. $9. I bought it for $1. $21.50. That's close to $100 game now, probably. It's crazy. It's crazy to look back and just seeing video games. It's almost like good. You see how the video game craze took off. It's pretty wild to see how video games have grown and how that hobby has just become such a thing. Like I said, in 2009, it was still growing even then, but it wasn't there yet. Like 2013, 2014 is when it exploded. And I think some YouTubers had a hand in that. Not even on purpose, but a lot of these bigger gaming channels I used to watch back then, and some of them are still around, I think, they would talk about rare games or hidden gems or whatever. And then all of a sudden people, they would have, 100,000 subs at the time, maybe less. A lot of their subs would be like, oh, I'm going to go buy this game up. All of a sudden, say something, because you can affect it. And like I said, you're not doing it, maybe you're doing it on purpose, maybe you're not. But say someone, a YouTuber has 200,000 subs. I'm talking back in, we'll say 2012, 13. And they talk about a game that no one really gives a shit about. Hidden gem, rare game, underrated game, whatever you want to say. And it normally sells for $15, $20. All of a sudden, 500 people, 200 people in a week buy that game off eBay. All of a sudden, the next crop of people who sell it on eBay, bump it up $20. I saw a thing where a guy purchased, I think he did it both ways. He purchased like a ton of a certain game and then bumped the value up because he had like all the copies almost. And all of a sudden it became more valuable. And then he did it again with another game and then lowered the price on it and like literally just lowered the price of the game because he sold like 100 copies at the same lower price. There was someone else doing that too that had boxes of games. Like I guess, similar with cards, you'd buy a case of cards. And it's usually 20 boxes or whatever. But they had that with games back in the day too. And someone had old boxes of games. They purchased these, I guess, from the manufacturers, the companies themselves, like whoever it may have been, Nintendo, Capcom. So he had like a box, I think, a case box of sealed like copies of some game. He started selling them for cheaper on purpose and lowered the value of a pretty valuable game. The collecting industry is interesting, and that goes for cards, but the video game prices can be manipulated so easily, especially like, retro game stores. You can price this shit essentially whatever you want because it's not new anymore. Nobody's selling it new. You're not finding it at Best Buy or GameStop, Walmart, Target, what have you. So you can, and the funny thing is, one does it. One retro game store starts selling them at $30 a piece. All the other retro game stores follow suit. You can kind of manipulate that. I mean, of course, with retro game stores compared to eBay, you always understand, and it depends on most cases, the games at the retro game store are going to be a little bit more. They have to be. You're paying employees. You're paying your rent. It makes sense to sell for a couple dollars more, right? It's usually never that much more. Sometimes, though, they will sell games actually quite a bit lower than eBay. That's the thing, though. And the same thing, actually, if you have an eBay store, you might have to sell a game that might have more value than you think. Nobody buys it. Eventually it drops down, That works with some sport games too, because some sport games hold value. And they'll have to sell them for $2 or $3, and you can sell them on eBay for like 10 or 12, but the problem is they can't afford to sell it. They want to get rid of it because sport games are all over. You go to a retro game store, there's sport games everywhere. I've bought a lot of sport games from the East End Gaming, the video game trading post back in the day. Not back in the day, this was last year, a couple years ago. But video games is an interesting market. It's crazy to see how it just fluctuates. There could be another game crash. Nobody gave two shits about video games back in the early 2000s, outside of the people that really wanted to play them. Because that's another thing that happened. People that don't know anything about video games start seeing that they're selling well, and then they start buying them at garage sales or flea markets. And all of a sudden the people who sell at flea markets start raising the prices. It happened with, I told you about this. I wish I got to this garage sale 5 minutes early. There was a box of Nintendo and Game Boy stuff. I looked briefly. I saw Adventures of Link. I saw ice hockey. I saw something else that's not overly valuable. There's a lot in there that had to have been. $20. The person buying it didn't have a clue. And the person that they were with, it was like a kid and a parent. And maybe an older person. They were in their 20s. They were with their parent, or who, maybe, I don't know, his brother. But they were like, don't bother, or whatever. I'm like, yes, don't bother. But they took it anyway. Because in their mind, they know games have value. They don't know shit about what's in there, but they know it has value. So like, I'm taking this, it has value, I can make money. Understandable, Of course, I was like, come on, don't buy it. And this was a person at a garage sale that was probably cleaning out their son's stuff from the attic, And then I found some other stuff there, and like it was games without the cases, PlayStation 2 games without games in the case. I was like, of course. That happened at a garage sale once. Now I would assume the kid of this family had their games in like a binder. There was a bunch of PS2 games, and I was like, oh, Simpsons Hit and Run. Nothing in the case. I was like, of course. I looked at about 5, and I took the 5 games, and I brought it up to the person. I'm like, there's no games in here. And they're like, oh, shit. And then I left, and then somebody else started looking in that same bin. I looked through other ones, too. There was no games. There was no games in any of these cases, I guarantee it. Somebody else was looking, and I heard them open it. Like, I was like, yep. If I look back now, I probably should have just grabbed a lot of these cases and manuals and be like, listen, how much do you want for the cases and manuals? Because I've done that at other garage sales. I got like a Super Smash Brothers and Luigi's Mansion with the case and manual at a garage sale. They looked inside for the games, so they couldn't find them. I'm like, I'll buy the games, and I'll buy the case and manuals at 50 cents each. I was like, all right, I'm going to make money on these anyway, but of course you'd rather the game be in there. There's a market for the cases, there's a market for the manuals, especially for high-priced games. There's always I could sell that Ogre Battle 64 and Paper Mario manuals. I could probably make $50, $40, $50 just off those manuals at the boxes too. It turned into a ramble about video games and eBay stuff, as it typically does. Tonight is the Chiefs Ravens playing tonight. Let's take a gander on the old ESPN. Football starts this game tomorrow night as well. I might check out a game on the weekend. I don't know. I'll do a recap, obviously, of the first week at the very least. See how people are digging them. I know people liked it last year, so I'd assume it'd be the same this year. You never know, though. I think it's Ravens and Chiefs, right? Then everybody's gonna be like, oh, football's back, here we go. Everybody start gambling. I might try a little FanDuel or whatever those online gambling sites are for sports. See, throw a little bit in there, see if I can win anything. And here come the analysts. They're going to dissect every quarter. I remember I talked about this probably in a sports ramble at some point. It was literally the half. It was like the Bucks first half of the game, first game of the season, the Bucks were ripping it up in the first half, and they're like, they're putting the league on notice. They're gonna possibly win the division. They ended up winning like 5 games or some shit. It was ridiculous. It's like, put your fucking boner down, dude. Yeah, Chiefs Ravens. Tomorrow's Packers Eagles. That's another good game. Broncos got the Seahawks, I think, game 1 of this year. I'm curious to see how Denver does. I don't have my hopes up. I want to see how Bo Nix does. Hopefully he does well. I hope he ends up being a good QB. Denver can't draft good quarterbacks because they didn't draft Elway. They traded for him. He was drafted by Baltimore, but of course he was like, I don't want to play for them, like with Eli did with San Diego. I think Elway threatened to play baseball because I think he was actually drafted by the Yankees or something too. Sure, dude, you had no intention of it, but that's what these guys do, right? They probably have their agent in their ear and their parents in their ear. They drafted Tommy Maddox. He ended up being okay on like Pittsburgh one year. Brian Greasy, they drafted, and he was okay. He was the best of the bunch. Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian was okay, but he was like a 6th round pick. He had some moments. Paxton Lynch did not. Brock Osweiler did okay in Peyton's place that last year. Peyton was in the league, and then he sucked. I think he signed a big contract with the Texans and didn't do shit. I'm missing a few too. You know what? Jay Cutler was decent. They drafted him. He would have been better too if he didn't get traded. Josh McDaniels became the coach of Denver. He traded him. He traded Brandon Marshall too. So hopefully he's solid. Tebow won him a playoff game, but Tebow, I love that. I've talked about that season. I love Tebow, and he won that first playoff game since like the Super Bowl season. No, wait, since 2005. They won that one playoff game, Plummer, and then they beat the Patriots. Actually, it was Brady's first playoff loss. But it was awesome to see. It was a cool overtime win against Pittsburgh, and then all Tebow does is win. Obviously, they won every game he started. I hate when people say that about players, media members. All he does is win. Really? Because he have a perfect goddamn record if all he did was win. These stupid things. Be like, he wins more than he loses. It's just a stupid saying that makes no sense. You could sit here and say Brady, all he does is win, and it would make more sense because he won a shit ton of Super Bowls. Or like even Peyton in the regular season, all he does is, but he's a winner at every level or something shit like that because he won 2 national championships at Florida. He did not win Super Bowls in the NFL, so I don't know what he did in high school, but he was not a winner in the NFL. He had an 8-8 season with Denver, and they won a playoff game. It was awesome. It was a hell of a year if you're a Broncos fan. They won the division 8-8 because the division sucked. Any other year, if the Chiefs, Chargers, or Raiders were solid, they wouldn't win that division. They would have lost it by a couple of games, and no one would have talked anything about him. But I will say this about Tebow. He had a place on teams because he had talent. He'd be great on the goal line because he's a big dude. He'd get a great runner. He ended up doing some of that stuff, I think, with the Jets, maybe. Denver should have kept him when they got Peyton because you could have used him in goal line situations. For different things, he could have been used. I think he had a place on teams, but he was not going to be a starter. I think it was a lot of feel good. He's a good dude. You know, whether you're religious or not, he obviously is. So he'd do the kneeling on the sidelines. People liked him. He was a good person. He was there for his teammates, talked up his teammates, was good with everybody, wasn't an asshole. And you don't see that too often. And you do see it in sports, but not all the time. I feel like it's a little more rare than it isn't. You know what? There's plenty of good players in all sports, but the media attached themselves to him, kind of like they did with Caitlin Clark. They find somebody to attach themselves to, and all of a sudden they become larger than life. And that's what happened to him during that season. It was a hell of a season. It was crazy, some of the shit that was happening with their wins. McManus, was it McManus? It was Prater, I think, at the time, was hitting like 60-yard bombs to win games, field goals. People are doing weird stuff. The Bears I talked about. Marion Barber decided to run out of bounds for no reason, and that benefited Denver because then it forced the Bears to punt and gave Denver more time. Like, weird stuff was happening that year. Fortunately, it didn't lead to a Super Bowl, but they did get a great playoff win. And I knew it, too. They were playing the Patriots in Foxborough. I was like, they are going to get destroyed, and they lost like 42-10. It was a destruction. Yeah. Just really start to go nuts there on the sports. Typically do, or the video game related, debate related stuff. But yeah, football's back. Here we go, right? Here we go. They're going to dissect every single play. I can't listen to the talking heads. I lost interest. That's kind of what pulled me away from sports too, was you start to listen to these analysts and you're like, just like, shut the fuck up, dude. They should just have them on every 4 weeks, because with football it's the worst because there's only 17 games now. So every game, it's like they're putting the league on notice, and then they lose 7 in a row, and then it's like, they always sucked. I said they sucked. No, I didn't, but they can just say whatever they want. It goes out the window the next week. No, they should be held accountable. They're bullshit takes. I think there's a site on Twitter, or it's online, so it's like freezing cold takes. It's like they go back to people who made these just ridiculous takes that were so wrong. Sports are annoying. They're cool as hell, but they're annoying as shit. But yeah, I'll probably stop that here, right? It's a 35-minute ramble here. Start off decent. And once again, if you want to know about that buried under cliches, if you want to see me do regular videos and maybe some goofy stuff that I used to, go watch those videos on that channel. I'm going to link the channel in the description, so click that link. I had a lot of fun back then. 09. There's like 5 months in 09 where it was so fun. It was awesome. It's great. That was still somewhat I don't know when YouTube started, 05, maybe 06. Still the early years of YouTube. But anyway, just a ramble. Start to go off the rails on sports, as it typically does with me. Don't take any of my shit as anything either. That's the thing. I don't argue with people too about sports. If you want to sit here and say, this guy was the greatest, whatever, I don't care. I don't care enough about anything in sports anymore to argue with people. I just don't. It doesn't matter. I'm an observer of the games. I have no outcome on the game. And anyway, so, like I said, if you're a sports fan, you bask in the glory when the team wins, and you distance yourself when they suck. And then you're back there when they start winning. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. and have a good day.